Hi again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Neville. Today it was lit at the Madlanga Commission. Brown Mogotsi, Brown 007 Mogotsi. It was a lot, but then let's get to it. Not to Brown Mogotsi saying all the things he was saying at the Madlanga Commission. I'm just gonna talk about a few of what he was saying today at the Madlanga Commission. He said a lot. He was there at the Madlanga Commission saying a lot of things, and of some of the things that he said is that he was an informant. He was an informant of the SAPS since in 1999. Since in 1999. And then he later served as an agent in crime intelligence. That's Brown Mogotsi giving his testimony there at the Madlanga Commission. And when I was listening to him, some of the things that he was saying were not kind of making sense. I don't know. But according to me, the way he was giving his testimony, it seemed as if someone coached him, but I could be wrong. Anyone who has watched the Madlanga Commission would have their own opinion, even as much as Nami, I'm having my own opinion of it. The guy was lying, but then that's just me saying he was lying. I don't have the proof. Don't ask me why I'm saying he was lying, but maybe it's because we are talking about the guy who was driving a car and then he stopped at the side of the road, started shooting his car, and then he went MIA, disappeared, went missing in action, and then he could not be found, right? That's the guy, Brown Mogotsi. And then at some point, when the police officials went to his business place to look for him so that he could hand over his devices, he was not there. You see, that's the guy we're talking about. I don't know, maybe that's how being an informant is all about. You hear things before they happen and then you take precautionary measures to disappear if you have to. But then he also mentioned what in his role as a contact agent, he was asked by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi to investigate irregularities within crime intelligence and SAPS. This guy is not employed by SAPS, but he is used by some individuals within the SAPS. I don't know how angazi ukuthi leyo nto le yenza kanjani sense, but then anyway, that's how it is according to his testimony that he was giving today at the Madlanga. And then he made some serious allegations that the the Amazulu King, Misizulu kaZwelithini, and KZN Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi were recruited by and collaborated with the American CIA. This is Brown 007 Mogotsi saying all those things that he was saying at the Madlanga Commission. And I was like surprised with this guy, all these things that he's saying, and no man, they were not making sense. But to me, they were not making sense. But some of the things, if they are true, that would mean we should take ningi esingakwazi. We should take ningi esingakwazi. We only know a few and we only know in part. Yet, some of the things are happening out there. And we kuphela umuntu owaziyo ukuthi kwenzekeni, because we were not there. We are just listening to him giving his testimony. And it's quite I don't know what to make of what was happening today, but all those things. And I was listening to the comments, even on radio, people were saying that this guy is lying and whatnot. Hence, I'm saying I don't believe half of the things that he was saying. And he implicated a lot of people, a lot of people there, because at some point he ended up saying that there were cases that were opened against EPKTT, right? And those cases were cases of intimidation, and the cases were not opened. Angazi kanjani, they tried so much. Okay, he said cases opened against PKTT members in KZN were not investigated, hence they opened one in Midrand. However, due to jurisdiction, the case against Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi was sent back to KZN. Angazi ukuthi le nto le possible kangakanani ukuthi ufuna ukuvula case and then bese kuba khona that rejection or that pushback eba khona. I don't know ukuthi yenze kanjani le nto le, if it is true le nto le bekayikhuluma, and kuze kube khona i-case ye-intimidation, what was happening, what was the reason? Because I'm sure ukuthi if that was the truth le nto ayikhulumayo, I'm sure there might have been a reason, right? There might have been a reason. Angeke nje kusuke kube khona i-case ye-intimidation for no reason. Maybe the police were doing their job and then they were resisting with whatever they were doing. Le thina singayazi, yile yena yazi. So yeah, Brown Mogotsi, that guy is a wild character. He's a wild character. And then he also alleged that uVusi Matlala was referred to as John Wick in crime intelligence circles, and a formal report identifying Matlala in this role was handed to the Minister of Police, uBhekicele. And speaking of uBhekicele, there's also something that he said also about uBhekicele, including uMasemula, that they received money from Cat Matlala, and Guningi, guys, Guningi. This guy, Brown Mogotsi, is the only one who's got files for days. Hence, he was saying some other times he's gonna be dropping bombs, and yeah, that was quite a show. That was quite a show. And I heard someone say, Wuti, this Madlanga Commission should have a season 2 on Netflix. Yeah, that thing, it was wild. It was wild. Brown Mogotsi, those things that he was saying. But as for Ipati Wuti, he's an agent. And then he did mention Wuti, he was working for this warrant officer. I forgot his name. He did mention the name of this warrant officer, because he referred to himself as an informant, right? And then an informant, there's also someone who is a handler, the person who is in charge of him, and he has a file and whatever. They give him tasks, he go and performs those tasks and come back, report to the handler. At some point, he had 2 handlers. If one handler is not available, there's another one he reports to, and even the handlers themselves, they communicate. And I heard at some point, Brown Mogotsi. You know, even on this issue of alleging that uMkhwanazi and the king were agents of the CIA, or were recruited rather by the CIA. Even Madlanga himself, the judge Madlanga, even asked Brown Mogotsi, so you want to tell me, even if you want to tell me that even me, since Nami, I've acquired some studies there in the US, that would mean I'm an agent of the CIA. And then he ended up jokingly saying that I'm even afraid that I asked you that question, because you might even say yes. But all in all, it was an interesting thing to witness there at the Madlanga Commission. It was quite a, yeah. I don't have much to say yeah, from now on, I'm just going to leave you with the highlights of what was happening there at the Madlanga Commission. And from me to you, I'm signing out. Peace. I'll see you on the next one. And thank you very much for being with me up to this far. Thank you. Yeah, right now, let me sign out. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I think maybe then go to paragraph 22, where I think you were heading anyway.
Yeah. Oh, this is where the source further indicated that in execution of his mandate from CIA, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi on numerous occasions sent members of the political killing task team to intimidate, harass, attempt to murder members of the royal house associated to Prince Makati. Now, a number of cases were opened with SAPS in KwaZulu-Natal related to this conduct. And these cases were, however, not investigated or acted upon by SAPS due to intervention of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, being the Provincial Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal.
So, can you explain what evidence, if any, you received to substantiate the statement that this was in execution of a mandate from the CIA?
It is because we ended up, like I'm mentioning, Prince Makati commissioners. Part of my network, we ended up having to meet with them. Actually, they even came to Gauteng. We hosted them in Midrand, helped them to open a case as they were alluding. But that time, Prince Makati sent the aide and Prince Zulu. We came to Midrand. And after opening the case, due to jurisdictional purpose, the matter was then transferred back to Nangoma Police Station. We also have the case number mentioned here, Commissioners. In fact, when SC was crossing to paragraph 25, I was going to ask Commission that I should emphasize that the reason the case was open in Gauteng was simply because it's not written elsewhere, but it's a practice that has been developed, that if cases were open against political killing task team members, not only in KZN, all over, and they would not be investigated. That's the thing I wanted to say.
Yes, my question is more specific. It is, you say there were a number of cases opened, and my question is, are those number of cases against members of the PKTT, accusing them of intimidation, harassment, and attempted murder? You're saying there are such cases that were opened?
Yes, that's what I said. There were such cases according to the investigation. But the one that we opened in Midrand, it was against Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, the case that was opened by Prince Makati.
And the ones opened against PKTT members, there are names to them. There are individuals, members who are named in those cases.
Yeah. That perhaps the Commission, one will have to find out and try to get more information. But as I'm saying, on the arrival, as we spoke, they did say, we tried to open these cases so many times against PKTT, against General Mkhwanazi. Nothing has ever happened.
Yes. So that's what you were told?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes. But the one that was registered, it was against Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chaspat.
Thank you, Commissioner. And this case was it was registered at a regular SAPS station, not with an iPad.
A police station.
This is my last question on this. I want to understand your point around Mr. John Wicks in relation to the award of the contract. If you are making any connection at all in that regard, what's your point exactly?
The point is that it is clear that General Bekicele, he knew Vusimuzi had Matlala beforehand, because this presentation was done in 2018. And when the source says General Bekicele is having an interest in this tender, you'll ask him, but why are you saying that? What do you have? He'll say, no, with the information that is coming, go and check, but I know they are talking or they are meeting. He'll just give you a draft information as to this is what is happening.
If I understand you correctly, so you are basically saying at the stage of what you refer to as the Boko Haram presentation, Minister Cele knew of or about Mr. Matlala.
Definitely,
But at that stage, you are not suggesting that they had met.
Yes, they had not met. Let me say, because he was presented, and the picture of the presentation shows Matlala's picture. Doesn't show. There's no other John Wick. John Wick is Vusimuzi Matlala.
So he knew of or
he
about
knew
him.
of the man. Yes. Yeah, the meeting was very, very important because, commissioners, it is Matlala who told me that these people are very ungrateful. He further spoke about General Bekicele and General Masemola, saying that, these people expect me, like Masemola, expect 25 million rand from me, and I've already given him 5 million rand. He also spoke about Bekicele, that he has given him 2 million rand, and he wanted 10 million, which means the 8 million rand was outstanding. One of the important things he said was that Gen Masemola and Cele, they are having a plan, a comeback strategy for General Bekicele to come back, and they really, really want to get rid of General Sibiya.
And so this is information that Mr. Matlala is giving you about, as it were, factions within the SAPS.
Okay, may you rephrase the question?
Am I understanding your evidence correctly that this information about General Cele, General Masemola, General Sibiya, it's coming from Mr. Matlala himself? And he's speaking to you about divisions within the SAPS.
Yes, he was telling me physically. We were together when he told me.
Can you please read what he said they expected from him? Please read it as is in paragraph 34.1.
They expected him as a service provider to make payment to General Masemola in the amount of 25 million and Gen Cele in the amount of 10 million. Of the 25 million expected to be paid to Masemola, 5 million rand had already been paid, and there was a balance of 20 million rand outstanding. With regard to the Cele payment, 2 million rand had already been paid, and a balance of 8 million rand was outstanding.
And what came out of that meeting?
I did, of course, call Matlala, engage with Matlala. A meeting was arranged on 7 December 2024, during which Matlala vented his frustrations regarding the SAPS tender. He intimated interior that SAPS had not made payments to him with reference to the tender. But after the meeting, and in December, I received a call from Matlala saying, because I think I must emphasize on 32 that this was a telephonic call, and then after I received the second call, that's when we met with Matlala, saying that I should speak to Mchunu, as he and his wife have been assaulted by members of the PKTT. He indicated that he was intent on and was indeed attempting to open a criminal case regarding the incident at SAPS Brooklyn. He was, however, unsuccessful due to the fact that the SAPS refused to open a docket and receive the complaint.
So, just to clarify, did you physically meet with Matlala at all on 7 December?
Yes, Matlala, we spoke over the phone, and I received a call from him, and he told me that he has a problem, he couldn't open a case. And in my response to that, I did call my handler to arrange for Matlala to open a criminal case at Soweto. And then it was my handler, Mabisela, who then spoke to my co-handler, who then facilitated the opening of a docket. Now, after Matlala thereafter was able to open the case through my intervention. So the case was opened at SAPS in Soweto on 7 December 2024. And on that day, me and Matlala met in Johannesburg.
And we're talking about a physical meeting?
Physical meeting.